Slam, jam, break face. You have $2.99 in your pocket, you want to keep it. What we're going to do is learn a jamming attack. What are you laughing at? You like my jokes, Mr. Jet? Okay, when Jet throws that punch at me, I'm going to jam with a palm heel strike. It doesn't have to be a palm heel strike. Really, the concept of jamming is anything forward. But we're working on what's called the jam block. And the jam block consists of a palm heel strike, an elbow block, and that checking hand. It looks like this. He comes in. There's my jam with the palm heel strike. Now watch the elbow. There's the elbow block, and notice that this checking hand is up to protect in case this comes over, right there. Comes in, boom. I'm moving in a forward direction, so notice my feet as I shuffle in. Again, just like that. All right, let's work on that jamming attack. Slam, jam, break face. He throws that hook punch. Boom. I jam forward, palm heel strike, the elbow does a block, this does a check. Breaking it down, palm heel strike, the elbow does a block, and this is a check. He's on the other side so you can see it. Once again, I'm going to jam the attack. So when the attack comes in, I'm moving forward. So I'm also shifting and shuffling my feet. Comes in, one, right there, and watch the elbow, and watch the checking hand, right there. All right, now let's work on the jamming the attack technique. The first thing we're going to learn with jamming the attack is called a jam block. What that is consists of a palm heel strike, an elbow block, and a checking hand. It looks like this. He throws a punch, I jam with that palm heel strike, I block with that elbow, and I check with that hand. See it from the other side. Comes in, I jam with that palm heel strike, I block with that elbow, and I check. So what's going to look like is this. He comes in, boom, right there. I'm going to move in a forward direction because that's a jam, and I'm shuffling or shifting or stepping in that forward direction. Anytime you have an attack and you're going to use a jam, the idea is to move forward. The reason behind moving forward is that if he's there and I'm here and he throws a punch at me and I step back, what's going to happen if he keeps throwing punches? Eventually, either I'm going to trip on something or he's going to hit me. So if you move back, you should only do it as a setup to fool him. And what that does is if he throws one punch, I move back. He might think I'm going to move back again, and then he comes again. I move forward instead, and I jam the attack. Note the attack is coming from a round angle. So if it was a round kick, I do the same kind of a jam. I just need to move in a forward direction. Now again, we're focusing on what's called the jam block. So it's a palm heel strike, an elbow slightly bent, so the arm is slightly bent, and we're blocking with that elbow, and our hand is up. If I don't get the elbow in, that hand up, or the checking hand, is very important. So when he throws that punch, if I jam, but I don't get the elbow into there, he reaches around, I need to have this hand up. Now for the most part, if you need this hand free, it's very important that you do a lot of keeping the head low, and do that elbow block. Right here. So this is the defender, and the attack is here. If an attacker throws either of these type of attacks, round attacks, like a hook punch or a round kick, we then move in a forward direction or a jamming direction. So if he was to throw a hook kick at me, puts a hook kick, I still can jam forward. If he throws a spinning kick at me, I can jam forward. Alright, now what we're going to do is that jamming attack. When he throws that hook punch, we're going to jam forward with this hand in the palm. I'm just going to stick that arm right out. It's called the jamming attack. And that jam block, really what it is my palm goes out, the elbow slightly bent, and my other hand is up as a check. So when he comes in, bam, it's right there, here. The elbow is slightly bent because it helps block. What it's going to do, he throws that punch, is that elbow kind of blocks here while I'm striking through. This other hand is just a checking hand, helps protect against in case that fist comes around. Or he throws it and maybe you don't get that elbow in there, you still have this hand up here to block. Again, he throws the other hand, looks like this. The other hand looks like this. Notice I'm shuffling and stepping forward with my feet, just like that. So I don't want to move backwards. A jamming attack is always a forward motion. So what I'm going to do with my feet, watch my feet. He comes in, I'm just going to jam in, just like that. If I have my right leg back and he throws the left, I can just step forward. So he comes in, and again. All right, he's going to throw that punch. This here is called the jam attack. I'm jamming forward by moving forward in forward direction. And what's going to happen to create that jam, we're going to do what's called the jam block. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hand forward, the elbow slightly bent, and this hand comes up as a checking hand to protect. Because if I just use this hand and he gets around there after my jam, it's going to take me out here. So I want to have this up to protect that. So if you notice, when he throws that punch, my elbow is blocking that punch, that strike, as well as my attack. And then my checking hand is up for extra protection. The concept behind jamming the attack is to actually jam his attack. It's like a train that's coming forward. I'm going to step right in front of it. So he comes in, boom, I'm right there, moving my weight and body forward. Okay, one of the ways you can practice this, because ambidexterity is important, you want to practice on both sides. So when we're doing this at home, just think of slapping your bicep, sticking your palm out, keeping the elbow bent. 1, and then the other side, 2. 1, 2. When we use a partner, he's going to throw a right hook, I'm going to slap, and he's going to throw a left, I'm going to slap. I'm just going to do this. 1, 2. Now note when you're doing the actual technique, he's going to come in, and you're really jamming forward. And the cameraman is going to follow him when I attack. Watch. So I go like that, kind of follows so I can get that good action, and comes back to me when I'm talking. So he throws 1, but we're just practicing, so I'm going to stay stable. 1, 2. 1, 2. Because sometimes when you move from the left to the right, it's hard to remember how your hands go. And all you're really doing is taking your right hand out, elbow slightly bent, hands up. Just like that. So we're going to stand here, and he's not going to tell me what punch he's going to do. And when he throws it, I'm just going to stick a hand out and a check. Just like that.